Dala dhamma jebe dra no par jebe geng dharba dan tam je kembe bardu chopra jeba tham je ge su jebe ma nang ha dang nyambe sen chen tam je dewa dan den dung ya dan de ne du la na me pa yang dam pra so be chan chu ren po je to pra ja dala dhamma jebe dra no par jebe ge tharpa dan tam je kembe bardu chopra jeba tham je ge su jebe ma nang ga dang nyam pe sen chen tam je dewa dan den dung ya dan de ne do la na me pa yang Dabra zobe janju rinpo je dobra ja dala dhamma jebe dra nobar jebe ge tarpa dan tam je gembe bardu jobra jeba tam je ge ze jebe ma nanga da Nampe sen chen tam je dewa dan den dung ya dan dre nidu la na me pa ya Dabra zobe chanju rinpo je dobra ja de je de sangwa ma ge ki bardu lunga yisum ge wa la gu ma shi bardu lunga yisum ge wa la gu du de re ne sun de ne ma tsam ta sang ge bardu lunga yisum ge wa la gu san je chodan so ge chonam la chanchu bardu dane kyab su je dāgī jinsū gī bēsū nāng gī dhūlā pēnchē sāngcē dhūprā shū sāngcē jōdāng sō gī chōnām lā chāngchū bārdū dāni kyab sū jī dāgī jinsū gī bēsū nāng gī dhūlā pēnchē sāngcē dhūprā shū sāngcē jōdāng sō gī chōnām lā chāngchū bārdū dāni kyab sū jī dāgī jinsū gī bēsū nāng gī dhūlā pēnchē sāngcē dhūprā shū Kada nyampe senchen tamche dewa dang dewe gyundan dambara girje dunga dang dunya gi gyudan dewa girje dunga mepe dewa dame dewa girje nirin chada nidan dewe danyong la nepra girje manang kada nyampe senchen tamche dewa dang Dewe gyundan tempara gyurje dunga dang dunya ki gyudan dewa gyurje dunga mepe dewa dame dewa gyurje nirin chadan nidan dewe danyan la nebra gyurje manang kadan yampe senchen tamche dewa dang dewe gyundan tempara gyurje Dunga dang dunya ki gyudan dewa gyurje dunga mepe dewa dame dewa gyurje Nirin chada nidan dewe danyan la nebra gyurje. Now page 7. Bajra samaja, bajra samaja, bajra samaja. Malu semjen kungi gongyurjin, tude punje midze jumze la ngonam malu jishin gengyurpe. Chumden kurje nere shesu so are gyamba dyang pushve dupe aloke gende nebede shabda pradeja so ha sashi buju jushing metodam rera lenshi nide gyamba di sangye shingla mingte bulwa ye doku namda shindu chopara sho Chase wadang chuching shabadang jesu yirang kushing sowa ye gewa chungse dagi jisakpa tamche zobe changchub chirungo. Page 3 of the Mahamudra manual. So having found a quiet place, a secluded place, and seated comfortably on a cushion with legs folded in Vajra posture if that's possible, straighten the spine, then place both hands in the gesture of meditative equipoise, meaning with the right palm on your left and the two thumbs lightly touching. Hold that below the navel center. Gaze at the tip of the nose. Let your tongue lightly touch the upper palate. Leave your teeth and lips in their natural position. And then let breath flow comfortably. Relax both inhalation and exhalation without exerting any effort. Patiently, little by little, encourage your breath to be more and more relaxed. Allow your parasympathetic nervous system, the nervous system that is responsible for the ability to rest and to rejuvenate. Learn how to have a more direct relationship with that by using breath as the method. To be able to more deeply really rest and rejuvenate. When the breath exhales and inhales just as it is, then one is well seated in the bodhisattva posture of ease and comfort. The ease and comfort that is necessary for the bodhisattva path, taking us all the way from confusion to clarity, from bondage to liberation, for the benefit of both self and other. Then consider the difficulty of obtaining the freedoms and advantages, and how fortunate you are in having obtained this. If we are distracted, then distractions tell us we don't have enough of this, we don't have enough of that, we don't have enough of this, we don't have enough of that, and on and on and on. But when we understand those 8 conditions that we have become freed from, such as being born in the hell realm, or even being born in the human realm but without our sense faculties intact, that makes everything a lot more difficult and challenging. But we are free from these 8 states, and we have the 10 advantages. And with these freedoms and advantages, this indeed is a very fortunate human life that we have, a human body, a human existence. Do not waste it away. Do not become unaware of impermanence and death. So turn your attention to the truth of impermanence and death, that at any moment, this body endowed with the freedoms and advantages could lose the advantages, could find ourselves in one of these 8 states of existence. And death could descend anytime. But be encouraged by the unmistaken working of cause and effect. Recognize what are the causes of happiness, recall what are the causes of suffering. With regards to the causes of suffering, give rise to the determination to not be involved with them. With regards to the causes of happiness, make a strong resolve to do that again and again until it's second nature. And finally, see that as long as we are circling in samsara, in the cycle of wandering and confusion, there is no true rest, there is no real freedom. And to achieve this freedom, the determination to be free is the most crucial aspect, the most crucial intention. We have to be determined to want to be free. Then on the bottom of page 5, to be liberated from the sufferings of samsara, generate the following motivation. I go for refuge in the 3 jewels and will practice the meditation and recitation of Bhagavan Vajrasattva. You are the Yidam above your head on a full moon. This Ahung and Vajra instantly transform into Bhagavan Vajrasattva. His exalted body is white like the peak of a snow mountain touched by the rays of the sun. His legs are crossed with his 2 hands. The right holds a Vajra at his heart, and the left holds a bell resting on his hip. He is adorned with various jewel ornaments. At his heart center, in the middle of a moon, this is a Hung surrounded by the 100-syllable mantra. From this Hung, light rays emanate, clearing the obscurations of sentient beings. Streams of elixir are invoked from the hearts of all Buddhas and Bodhisattvas. They dissolve into the Hong. From there a stream of elixir descends, flows through his body, emerging from the tip of his right big toe. The stream enters the crown of your head, and all the collections of misdeeds, obscurations, and transgressions from beginningless samsaric lifetimes are washed away like dirt by water, and exit from the lower orifices of your body. The stream of elixir fills you from below, swirling upwards. Then, focusing on the Hong surrounded by the mantra at the heart of the Bhagavan, recite the mantra. Of course, the mere recitation of the mantra is not enough, that being only one of the four powers that are necessary. So apply the power of regret, the power of relying on Guru Vajrasattva, trusting Guru Vajrasattva, allowing Guru Vajrasattva to clear our obscurations, our defilements, our contaminations. And we have to be willing to be cleared before the clearing can happen. Then the method of meditating on this stream of elixir, together with the sounds of the mantra. And finally, the power of resolve, making a resolve not to repeat, not to continue damaging our vows, breaking our precepts. Vajra Sado Samaya Manubala Basa Tinopatita Didome Baba Sutokaya Mebaba Supokaya Mebaba Anuredo Mebaba. Vajra Sado Samaya Manubala. Vajra Sado Samaya Manubala. Vajra Sado Samaya Manubala. Vajra Sato Samaya Manupalaya Bata Vajra Sato Dinamata Dinamata Sudama. Vajra Sato Samaya Manupalaya Bata. Anura Dome Bava Savasena. Sarva Siddha Membaya Jasalanga. Anura Dome Bava Savasena Membaya Jasalanga. Sudoga Memo, Suboga Memo, Anura Dome Bava Savasena. Vajra Sato Samaya Manupalaya Bata. Anora Dome Bava Savasena Membaya Jasalanga. Jedam Saram Guru. Vajra Sato Samaya Manupalaya Basa Sato Denopati Tatedo Membava Sutokaya Membava Supokaya Membava Anura Dome Bava Savasena Membaya. Sawakama Sujame Chidam Surayam Guru Hong Ha Ha Ho Makaman Sawatata Kata Pesarma Memanja Bajre Bava Maha Samaya Sato. Page 8. I am ignorant and bewildered. I have transgressed and broken my samayas. O Guru Protector, grant me refuge. The Bhagavan grants his assent. You should then have faith that he responds with, child of the family, your broken samayas, negativities, and obscurations are clear. Think, Guru Vajrasattva dissolves into you, and in an instant your own form is the form of Guru Vajrasattva. Your speech is the mantra of Guru Vajrasattva, and your mind is the great wisdom and loving kindness of Guru Vajrasattva. Is the essence of all Buddhas of past, present, and future, which is also the very nature of your own mind. Then rest in meditative equipoise on the meaning of the union of appearance and emptiness, the inseparability of appearance and emptiness. Empty in essence and yet vividly appearing vividly and yet lacking any substantiality, completely free, without any basis for suffering to land on. Then invite Guru Vajradhara to come to the space in front of you. It's good if you don't think of space as just the limited space that you are in your room, in your house, in the building. But that to start with, you as Vajrasattva is unimaginably huge, occupying all of space as you can imagine. And then on top of that, in front of you, there's yet more space. And in that space comes Guru Vajradhara. Immensely large, pervading all directions. And in front of Guru Vajradhara, the Idam deities, particularly co-emergent Chakasamvara. To the right of Guru Vajradhara are the Buddhas of past, present, and future. To the back is all the Dharma texts. And to the left is the noble Sangha. And all the spaces in between are the Dharmapalas, Viras, Dakinis. And then surrounding the Guru and going upwards are all the lineage masters. Understand that this is our refuge, this is our hope. These are the ones who can pull us out of confusion and suffering. If we are determined to be pulled out. If we ourselves don't have that determination to exit, then of course, no matter how powerful, no matter how skillful, the Guru, the Idam, three jewels, Dharmapalas, no matter how skilled, no matter how able they are not able to forcibly take us out of this cycle. So we have to want to be free from confusion, free from suffering and the causes of suffering. And then we rely on the Guru, Idam, three jewels, Dharmapalas, Dakinis. All those awakened beings who can serve as reliable refuge and protectors. Then now regarding the offering mandala, think that everything that you most cherish, you most desire, and this whole entire universe, in the form of Mount Meru, with the 4 continents and sun and moon, and all the glorious and perfect riches of gods and humans are all put onto this mandala and offered to the field of accumulations, to Guru Vajradhara, with the Idam, Buddhas, Dharma, Noble Sangha. So using the words at the bottom of page 11, this ground sprinkled with scented waters and strewn with flowers, adorned with the supreme mountain, 4 continents, sun and moon, I hold in mine as a Buddha land and offer it. May all wandering beings experience such a pure land. To you, sublime Gurus, I offer my body, possessions, and roots of virtue. As an offering, please accept them. To you, Idam deities, and you, noble 3 jewels, I offer my body, possessions, and roots of virtue as an offering. Please accept them, O Gurus, Idams, and Noble Three Jewels. I pray that you generate supreme realization within me. This ground sprinkled with scented waters and strewn with flowers, adorned with the supreme mountain, four continents, sun and moon, I hold in mind as a Buddha land and offer it. May all wandering beings experience such a pure land. To you, sublime Gurus, I offer my body, possessions, and root of virtues as an offering. Please accept them. To you, Idam deities, and you, noble Three Jewels. I offer my body, possessions, and root of virtues as an offering. Please accept them, O Gurus, Idams, noble Three Jewels. I pray that you generate supreme realization within me. This ground sprinkled with scented waters and strewn with flowers, adorned with the supreme mountain, four continents, sun and moon, I hold in mind as a Buddha land and offer it. May all wandering beings experience such a pure land. To you, sublime Gurus, I offer my body, possessions, and roots of virtue as an offering. Please accept them. To you, Idam deities, and you, noble Three Jewels. I offer my body, possessions, and roots of virtue as an offering. Please accept them. O Gurus, Idams, and noble Three Jewels, I pray that you generate supreme realization within me. Then at the end, dissolve the field of accumulation into yourself and rest in the profound meaning of inseparability. There's the inseparability between the field of accumulation and yourself, and there is also the inseparability of appearance and emptiness. So both these senses of inseparability. Let your mind rest on this inseparability. So it is good if you can, to dedicate more time to doing Vajrasattva practice, dedicate more time to do the mandala offering. So the mandala offering with the two mandala plates, it's not gone, okay? At some other point, we'll circle back into. What I'm trying to do with this program that we have is to proceed along at a pace that is good, and I don't know if it's good or not yet, to proceed along the manual, but then to always also come back to the earlier parts, And so don't think, that's it. He's not going to use the mandala plates with the grains and everything. No. At some point, we will again circle back to that. And then on your own, if you want to really see, the effect of such practices, it is necessary for you to make a point of focusing and dedicating portions of time, days. You have some number of days coming up that you can be more leisurely. Then turn to one section, one part of this practice. Or if you are really disciplined, like, morning I receive together with others, practice together, and then one more session in the afternoon. In my own experience, I think if we make it like the evening session, then it's very hard. Sometimes we're so exhausted at that point. Then even if we do, we do it in a very kind of hurried way, we're doing it in a kind of grudging way, But especially those of us, who don't have to turn up at work somewhere, then choose a, reasonable time. Reasonable time may be like 3, 4 in the afternoon, before needing to think about dinner or needing to socialize with others. And we do another session. Yeah? So I shared with you, this is, I started working on a text, and within that text, this text that I'm working on, it's a commentary on a very important teaching that Kyoba Rinpoche wrote. Kyoba Rinpoche didn't write a lot, didn't compose, and even in the writing or composing, it could be that it wasn't that he was writing himself, but he composed it in his mind and then said it out loud, and then someone wrote it. Yeah. So in the collection of Kyoba's teachings called Kyoba Gambum, that 12, 15 volumes that we have, maybe about 10% are teachings that he authored. He kind of intentionally wrote or dictated. Others are more like extemporaneous teachings that he was giving, and then it was recorded, especially those short ones. So this one, and so anyway, so there's one called the Chintamani, the blazing garland of Chintamanis, the wish-fulfilling jewels. So then later, some early Dribung Kagyu master wrote a commentary on the Chintamani. So inside this commentary, they quote something that Kyoba Rinpoche also composed. It's called the Treatise on Compassion for Kinsmen. Yeah, I shared it on the WhatsApp group. Yeah. So that's a beautiful prayer that Kyoba Rinpoche taught us to pray, so to say. Because whether we say these words or not, this is what our daily prayer is. All of us. And so he is shining a light on that and say, do you think your prayers, this set of prayers can be fulfilled? Right? A really powerful prayer, I will read one time, yeah? The noble gurus and idam deities, the peerless refuge, the three jewels. So our field of accumulations. For a single moment, an instant, or even a short while, a thought of them does not arise in the mind. So rarely do we really think of them. Very rare. Instead, parents, close ones, intimate ones, relatives, retinues, and dear friends, male and female. And the dear friends there, shakpo, shakmo, it's the connotation is actually like even your fellow practitioners, like, he's mostly addressing monks and nuns. He's saying, your dharma companions, maybe you all share a room in like a monastic housing. Yeah? So it applies, of course, even to those dear friends, close friends. And are perpetually and unceasingly in the mind. They are perpetually and unceasingly in our mind, in our hearts. By this measure of love in the mind, it is certain that they are our single unsurpassable refuge. Right? Our lips say prayers to Buddha, Dharma, Sangha. Oh, you are our refuge. Single-mindedly, I think of no one else but you. But then in reality, parents, close ones, relatives, retinues, dear friends, male and female, are perpetually, unceasingly in the mind. By this measure of love in the mind for them, it is certain they are our single unsurpassable refuge. And since you must be my unsurpassable refuge, nothing I rely on more. To you, parents, relatives, kith and kin, dear friends, male and female, with a hopeful mind, I pray. And what do we want? What are we praying for next? I pray only not to suffer in this life. We're thinking, they can do that for us. I pray only not to be destitute when old age comes. So much we're hoping, Oh, yes. I pray only not to be struck by a bad reputation. I pray for my fame not to be diminished. I pray to have no regrets at the moment of death. Yes, please, please, please help me so that this will happen. I pray only not to be shamed by those superior to me. Not to be shamed, not to be humiliated. Yeah, maybe better. Not to be humiliated by those superior to me. Not to be put down by those superior to me. With a mind of constant attachment towards father, mother, close relatives and kin, and towards delightful friends and companions, even if you do not think of me at all, there is no harm done to my mind. As in, I won't feel bad even if you don't think about me. And that's how devoted we are to them. With a weary and tormented heart, I make this plea. Oh, again, From the heat and cold of the hells in the next life, from the suffering of hunger and thirst of the pretas, from the fate of animals, one eating another, ama, atsi, I am so terrified. Meaning, rescue me from, the three lower realms. From the suffering of the demigods' warfare, from the gods' death, rebirth, and fall, and from the hurried poverty of humans. So the three lower realms, now the three upper realms. From the suffering of the six realms of samsara, O close ones and friends, I pray, protect me. Yes, this is our normal prayer, And really think about it, from our bones, from our marrow. This is what we're praying. From this ocean of samsaric suffering, if you do not protect me, what would I do? I do not view the Guru, Idam, and the three jewels as a refuge at all. Instead, my entire body, speech, and mind, I labored for the sake of you, my relatives. In all my thoughts and considerations, I thought of no one but you. Wherever I went, wherever I stayed, I worked for only your well-being and never thought, what benefit is this to others? I did everything for you. Will you not protect me now? I never thought of anybody else. I only thought of you. And then basically it's like, and then you don't think of me. You only think of others. Yeah. So will you protect me now from the depths of your heart? If you certainly have no power to protect me, then I am completely without a refuge forever. Everything I have done is meaningless. I've been so deceived by this wrong knowledge, and now, even if I regret it, it is futile. Don't let that happen to you. Check what prayers we are actually making with our body, speech, and mind. And so at the end, Kyopa Rinpoche said, reflect well, you who have intelligence. Do not say, this is not correct. Keep this in your hearts. These relatives and friends are a deception. Okay, footnote, okay? It's not necessarily saying that they are scheming and planning how to deceive you. You are deceiving yourself. These relatives and friends are a deception. It's beautiful. Yeah, this commentary is very good. A couple of years ago, when I was polishing the root text Chintamani text translation, it's been translated a few times now, but when I was polishing it, I mentioned to Kenjin Konjo Gyaltsen Rinpoche that I'm working on the Chintamani, and then he said, oh, the commentary? I was like, no, Rinpoche, commentary is really long. He's like, oh, okay. But long or short, gotta give it a try. Now, and the Chintamani is also, about the Fivefold Mahamudra. All the key points. So many teachings, so many topics is actually framed around the Fivefold Mahamudra in the Dribung Kagyu. And so there's very, you may have heard of the text called Gongchik, the single intention. Then there's another major text in the tradition called Tekchen Tenpen Ningpo, or also called Tenning, the heart essence of the Mahayana. And Tenning is yet another way of presenting the Fivefold Mahamudra, but in a much more kind of lamrim, systematic way. This was composed by one of Kyopa Rinpoche's close students, a close student who was trained, very much trained in the scholastic tradition, like Pamodrupa, like Kyopa Rinpoche Nisumgan's teacher, Pamodrupa. This student, Shedang Dorje, himself was trained in the same way, and trained in the Sakyapa. At that time, the Sakyapa lineage had many great scholars of both Sutra and Tantras. And so Shedang Dorje was someone who trained in that system and then actually wanted to prove that Jigten Sumgön was wrong and misleading his students, and came to Drigong to try to debate Jigten Sumgön. And then when he arrived and he met Jigten Sumgön, he realized, oh my gosh, I made a mistake. Then he never left, Jigten Sumgön. Then he regretted very much, all the things that he was saying about Jigten Sumgön and how Jigten Sumgön's view is wrong and this and that. And he kept feeling really bad about that. He said, how can I make up for that? How can I purify? How can I clear that that stain? And Jigten Sumgön said, you can do that by, now that you understand, my teachings, now that you understand what I'm teaching, now you understand the correct view and the correct way to practice. Now you write something that is in the style of the scholars, because there will be other scholars who will have the same kind of questions that you have. So now you write about the Fivefold Mahamudra, but do it in the style of the scholars, and make that as an offering to me. So that's the heart essence of the Mahayana Tekchen Tenpeningpo. In Germany, the translation team are working on several texts related that are from the Tekchen Tenpeningpo cycle. And they have also published, the German team, translations on the Gongjik, single intention. So anyway, now coming back to our manual. So then the special preliminary, the first of the Fivefold Mahamudra, is the preliminary of cultivating bodhicitta in the three parts. First loving kindness, then compassion, and then with loving kindness and compassion as the driving force, give rise to aspiration and action, bodhicitta. So Gilbert Rinpoche said, if the steed of love and compassion does not run for the benefit of others, it will not be rewarded by gods or humans. Attend earnestly, therefore, to this foundational attitude. Now, page 20, aspiration bodhicitta. All enemies who bear hatred towards me, and all of us obstructors who would harm us, and the mandala of Mara, the dark forces that create disharmonious conditions and obstruct the attainment of liberation and all-knowingness, may all sentient beings as numerous as space, especially our father and mother, those not yet liberated from the ocean of suffering, that is samsara, be liberated. Those not yet freed from the bondage of defilements, be freed. Those who have not yet found rest in the Shravaka vehicle or Pratyeka Buddha vehicle, be brought to rest, and those who have not yet fully transcended suffering, I will lead them to completely transcend suffering through the Mahayana. Then page 23. Until I reach the heart of awakening, I will apply my body, speech, and mind to virtue. For as long as I live, and from now until this time tomorrow, I will take into my experience this Mahayana profound path of the union of the creation and completion stages. In the Fivefold Mahamudra, the creation stage consists of two, the next two aspects of the Fivefold, which is idam and guru devotion. So both idam and guru devotion is cultivated through the creation stage. So the idam, you are focused on appearing, turning up, as I said, understand the more fundamental kind of point of idam is to appear to turn up. Right now we are also appearing, we are also turning up. But what are we appearing as? And what are we turning up as? Right now we are appearing as, turning up as, generating ourselves as samsaric beings. It's a turning up, it's an appearance, it's a generation, it's a creation. In the same way, idam is creation, it's appearing, it's turning up, but with one crucial difference, which is the idam comes from what is innately real, innately so, which is our Buddha state. The samsaric you, all the different yous that turn up, has no basis. Except for confusion, and confusion itself has no basis. Confusion is exactly confused about that nature that we are, which is Buddha. So even though now appearing as idam may feel a little awkward or very awkward, reality is, according to the Buddha, this is true appearing. Appearing based on fact, so to say. But we have been so divorced from this fact that when we try to exercise, when we try to make obvious this fact, it feels awkward, it feels challenging, it feels difficult. But know that to appear as idam is to be true, to be authentic. So Kyuba Rinpoche said, if with one's body the king of deities exalted forms, so in this body is the king of the deities exalted forms, in this case, co-emergent Chakkasamvara. Other than the form of co-emergent Chakkasamvara, the other form that Kyuba Rinpoche also taught to his students, he says, those of you who don't practice co-emergent Chakkasamvara, then you should use Avalokiteshvara. Kyuba Rinpoche often said, my personal idam is Avalokiteshvara. So this has elsewhere I talked about, sometimes you hear, oh, the idam is Chakkasamvara. And then sometimes you hear them say, oh, my idam is Avalokiteshvara. How do you reconcile these two? And so I talked a little bit in the past, some of you may remember, that there's two senses of, two ways to think about what idam. One is the kind of heartfelt connection, I would say. And that's like Avalokiteshvara. Then there is idam as highest yoga tantra, unexcelled yoga tantra method of practice. In that sense, idam. Then in that sense, Chakkasamvara Vajavarahi is the idam that Kyoba Jigten Simgen trained with. But then when he is sick, when he's not feeling well, when he's feeling desperate, before he was awakened, before he was enlightened, whenever he felt trouble, whenever he felt danger, whenever he felt discouraged, spontaneously his heart turned to Avalokiteshvara. In fact, how he referred to his guru, Mahamudra, is a title of Avalokiteshvara. He called his guru Jigten Sumgun. It's only later his guru said, actually, you should use that name Jigten Sumgun. Now we call Kyoba Rinpoche Jigten Sumgun. But this name was originally used by Mahamudra, by Jigten Sumgun, what we call Jigten Sumgun, used by Kyoba Rinpoche to address his guru. And it's a title of Avalokiteshvara. For example, in the 21 Praises to Tara, it says there, Jigten Sumgun. And it's not referring to Kyoba Rinpoche, That's referring to Avalokiteshvara. So Kyoba Rinpoche is, kind of in his heart, whenever he's troubled, he would pray to Avalokiteshvara. So Avalokiteshvara is another idam that in Kyoba Rinpoche's teachings on the Fivefold Mahamudra, sometimes he would use, especially with a more general audience, or with someone that he doesn't know or he knows don't have co-emergent Chakasamvara as their regular practice, then he would use Avalokiteshvara. Yeah? Just so you know. If with one's body the king of deities exalted forms, the stronghold of the unchanging ground is not seized. The stronghold of the unchanging ground is talking about that true nature. If you do not grasp, if you do not seize, like this image of like seizing, then the Dakinis will not assemble. Each of these, of the Fivefold Mahamudra song, each stanza has a metaphor that is used. The first one is horse racing. This one is a king in his court. So he says, like, if this king in his court does not seize the stronghold of the ground, meaning like, like have complete control of the palace, then the consorts will not come. So consorts here, the connotation is bliss. What is the ultimate bliss? It's the bliss of Buddhahood. The bliss of being freed from the clutches of afflictive emotions. So poetically, the Dakinis are not going to gather. Your queens and concubines are not going to turn up. If you don't seize, if you don't have full confidence in having consolidated your power, so to say. And how do you do that? You do that with your body. You do that with your form. And what form? The form of the idam. So this is what it means here. Yeah? So with your form as the idam, you seize the stronghold of this unchanging ground. Then all satisfaction will begin to turn up. You will have less and less wants and needs and desires. You will get out of your hungry ghost state of existence. I don't have enough. This is wrong. That is not good. Conditions will begin to turn around. Or to be more exact, your way of relating to conditions begin to shift. It doesn't mean, like, oh, yay, no more problems. Like, oh, every time I get to the traffic light, it's always green now. Some of us think, when we say, oh, no more obstacles. And this is our kind of very superficial way of thinking about what success looks like when your spiritual practice is going well.
Well, because especially when we look at someone, or maybe bluntly, maybe you look at me and you say, oh, look at him, his life is going so well. Oh, yeah, it's easy for him to say, oh, when your practice is going well, everything is going well, well, it's just lucky. I'm not talking about this, I'm talking about, especially when difficulties turn up, And we all have difficulties that turn up. We don't necessarily talk about it because other people also don't want to hear about it. And definitely in social media, people don't want to hear about it. Although there's a subculture in social media which is all about telling the world how terrible things are, how terrible their lives are. Complain, complain, complain. Actually, so both are there. But they are all different ways of turning up, They are samsaric ways of idam practice, so to say. Even like in social media, it's a type of idam practice. It's a mistaken idam practice, right? Just like the mistaken prayer that Kyopa Rinpoche said that we are making. Praying to our relatives, praying to our loved ones, praying to our friends, praying to our companions, praying to our kids, praying to our grandkids. Please, 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 please rescue me from the pains of samsara. Please, 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 so that I have no regret when the time of death comes. Please, please, please protect me from the lower realms. Yeah, same, we are doing wrong deity practice all the time because we have adopted wrong deities. Like Christians say, worshipping false gods. In our tradition, worshipping false gods means turning up as a samsaric being. Attend earnestly, therefore, to this body, to this form as idam. That's, that's the essence of what we are cultivating in idam. Arising as, creating ourselves as, presencing, turning up as co-emergent Jagasamara. Then it says, all sorts, all bliss arrives. So it means, it doesn't mean, oh, my practice is going well. Look, oh, every time I turn up at the traffic light, it's green. Every time I go to the grocery store, they open a new line for me to pay. But that's how we think about, oh, things are going well. So some of us, may be struggling with challenging things like, family members needing us, not happy with us, or, we have some health issues we're dealing with, or a lot of health issues that we're dealing with. When we say, the mother Dakinis have gathered, and therefore satisfaction, or bliss, and bliss is the fancy word. Satisfaction is much better word, I think. Satisfaction is tasted, is savored. It doesn't mean that these things are not happening, but your how much suffering you need to experience when these things are happening, as in less and less suffering is happening now, then that means it's poetically here it says the retinue of Dakinis are gathering. Yeah, remember I mentioned this, this great Lama, Tenga Rinpoche, that passed away soon after his 80th birthday, But then he was diabetic, so at that point, there are some pictures if you Google Tenga, Tenga. You may be able to find this very striking photo of him basically taken not long before he passed away. Both his legs have been amputated, and he's lost both of his eyes. But before he passed away, when they were celebrating his 80th birthday, another Lama, much younger Lama, Rinpoche Rinpoche, who lived in Europe, went to see him, and Rinpoche Rinpoche reported this. He said, when I went to celebrate Tenga Rinpoche's birthday, Tenga Rinpoche said to me, he said, "Oh, I'm so grateful for my life," he said. He said, "In this life, I never had one real obstacle." Yeah. Meanwhile, I, have big plans for the day, wake up in the morning, and then was quickly looking to open some box. While opening the box, the tape gave me a cut on my thumb. Oh, this obstacle. A paper cut, Oh, this obstacle. I need to do more prayers to Guru Rinpoche to clear obstacles. Oh, this is Sanjay Guru Rinpoche. May I not have paper cuts? May I not have paper cuts? And then we think, oh, look, I'm a practitioner. I'm a yogi. I'm a whatever, You think, there's no pain with the amputations? You think there is no difficulties with going blind? That is like major traffic jam, right? Far from, never again having red light. Every traffic light you turn up is green. No. Major traffic jam. It's like a 20 trucks crash on the highway traffic jam. By normal look, Tenga Rinpoche's life. But he spoke the truth, and sincerely he said, "I'm so grateful this lifetime I did not face a single true obstacle." Now, how many percent of that can we practice? Can we actualize? If 1%, very good. 2%, even better. 3%, wow. 4%, you should buy yourself good ice cream to reward yourself. 5%, you can throw a party and invite others. So don't let Dharma be just some identity that you latch onto at some point in your life, and now you're just walking around displaying that identity. Because you think, oh, if I don't continue in this, what would I do? Do I have to join the Jehovah's Witnesses? Otherwise, what am I going to do with all my time if I don't no longer practice the Dharma? And if that's the reason that you're still practicing the Dharma, then Dharma has not entered the heart. Kampopas. May the Dharma be the Dharma. Right now, the Dharma is what to us? That question is still a question mark. Some days I wonder about that myself. Like, what is the Dharma for me? Is it really the Dharma? Or is it just something else? May the Dharma be the Dharma. First of the four Dharmas of Gampopa. May the Dharma be the Dharma. So these are the ngondro that Kyoba Rinpoche is talking about when he says, whereas others consider the profound instructions of the winds, drops, and channels to be amazing and profound, in our tradition, we consider the preliminaries, the ngondro, to be truly profound. And he's talking about this kind of ngondro, primarily. This kind of ngondro. Has the Dharma truly become the Dharma or not? Or is the Dharma just something else? Yeah, when the Dharma has truly become the Dharma for us, usually it's the first step there, When that step becomes clear, becomes firm, becomes resolute, all the other steps, it's a lot easier. And the way they describe, they say, like, for example, the 10 Bodhisattva bhumis. The first bhumi, the path where the path of seeing is achieved, is when you attain the first Bodhisattva bhumi, the first Bodhisattva level. When that level is achieved, it says, then going through the rest of the bhumis is no longer so difficult. The comparison given is, they say, if you observe a bird taking flight, taking flight, there's a lot of energy used. When it first jumps off, it has to flap its wings, really, really hard. Same with planes, the most dangerous time is when they're taking off and when they're landing. But once this bird has kind of really stay in the air, and then they can go up and down by very slightly, just slightly moving their wings, right? You can see the bird going soaring up into the sky and coming down easily, without much, like. So likewise, keep working on the ground level. Keep working on ngondro. Keep working on refining our minds, our intentions, our sincerity. Keep working on that. Keep being honest with ourselves. Don't go bother with other people's business. Keep refining our own intentions, our own motivation. Keep making it beautiful. Keep polishing this diamond, the diamond that you are. Then everything else will fall into place, nicely. Then, even if it's all red lights, no problem. Okay, good. So, dedication on page 78. So yesterday I mentioned schedule, yeah? So just to repeat in case some of you were not here. So in terms of schedule, tomorrow we will meet, and then Thursday and Friday we won't. Yeah. Next week, Monday and Tuesday we will meet, and then Wednesday we won't. The following week, December 9th, that week, December 8th, I won't be back from Guatemala until later on the 8th. So on the 9th, that week, we will start. Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. Yeah. Then looking forward, further down the road, in January, I'm going to Peru. But when I'm in Peru, most of the days should be possible because the time difference is the same. And the center there now has, a better internet, so I've been told. Then early February is when I'll be gone for a couple of months, and that is when maybe you can make a resolve, to do the practice that we have been introduced to in a more focused way. Yeah? Okay. By the virtues collected in the 3 times by me and the entirety of samsara and nirvana, and by the innate root of virtues, may I and all sentient beings quickly attain the unsurpassed, perfect, complete, precious Bodhi. Chanchu Semcho Rinpoche Ma Ge Banam Ge Gyurje Ge Ba Nyam Pa Me Ba Yang Gong En Gong Du Bel War Shung.
Thank you, Rinpoche La. Thank you.
Bye-bye. Hello, Ernie.
Gracias, Rinpoche.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Gracias.
Good morning. Good afternoon.
Gracias.
Gracias.
Bye.